rising trade tensions between Canada and the United States, intensified by President Donald Trump's return to the White House, have led Ottawa to reconsider its defense procurement strategy. As political friction increases, Canada is reassessing 9 major defense contracts in an effort to reduce its dependence on U.S.-supplied military systems. These range from fighter jets and missile systems to Arctic cooperation and NORAD modernization. Prime Minister Mark Carney's government is considering a strategic shift toward European partnerships and boosting domestic production. Canada is currently conducting a thorough review of 9 key defense projects and contracts with the United States. This move reflects growing concerns in Ottawa about rising trade tensions and geopolitical uncertainty. At the forefront of the news is the F-35 fighter jet program, which has become central to Canada's broader strategic reassessment. Prime Minister Mark Carney's government is officially reviewing the multi-billion-dollar agreement to purchase 88 F-35 jets from Lockheed Martin. Despite having already allocated funds for the first 16 aircraft, this reconsideration stems not only from the aircraft's high cost but also from concerns over Canada's deep integration into U.S.-controlled military technology ecosystems. As part of this reassessment, Canada is looking into alternatives, most notably the Swedish Saab Gripen, which offers the possibility of domestic assembly and potential integration into wider European Union defense initiatives, closely linked to the F-35. Acquisition is a proposed $5 billion sole source agreement to procure U.S.-made M142 HIMARS rocket systems. This deal includes rocket launchers, guided munitions, and logistics support. Although negotiations are moving forward, Canadian defense officials have acknowledged that the final decision could be influenced by the changing trade relationship with the U.S. A breakdown in trade cooperation could put this high-value deal at risk. Canada has also earmarked an additional $6 billion Canadian dollars to acquire advanced weapons systems to complement the F-35s, such as precision-guided bombs and air-to-air missiles. These purchases depend on the continuation of the F-35 deal, so any decision to cancel or reduce the fighter jet program would affect related weapons procurement. The review also includes Canada's role, or absence, in U.S. ballistic missile defense programs. Historically, Canada has chosen not to formally join such initiatives, preferring instead to focus on joint NORAD responsibilities. However, recent strategic assessments, including the 2025 Strategic Outlook Report, warn that Canada's exclusion from key missile defense frameworks could limit its influence in NORAD modernization and weaken its overall defense position, especially as threats from hypersonic and long-range cruise missiles become more advanced. Joint NORAD modernization remains a critical area of U.S.-Canada defense cooperation, particularly in upgrading early warning radar and missile detection systems. However, with tensions rising, there are concerns that projects like the proposed Golden Dome integrated missile defense system could face delays or be scaled back if political disagreements worsen. Another program under strain is the Trilateral Ice Pact, a joint initiative between the U.S., Canada, and Finland to co-develop next-generation polar icebreakers. Although this effort had previously enjoyed strong bipartisan support, recent remarks from President Trump criticizing Canada's role in U.S. Coast Guard procurement have raised doubts about Canada's status as an equal partner in future Arctic security initiatives. Other procurement relationships are also in a sensitive state. Canada currently has a $623 million contract with U.S.-based General Dynamics for 155mm artillery shell propellants, awarded in fiscal year 2024. While the contract is moving forward as planned, future orders may be at risk if Canada shifts its procurement focus toward European suppliers, especially if trade barriers remain unresolved. Similarly, Indal Technologies, a Canadian company that specializes in aircraft arrestor systems, holds a $38 million contract with the U.S. Navy to equip American aircraft carriers. While this highlights the strong industrial ties between the two countries, political uncertainty is now casting doubt on the long-term stability of such agreements. Cross-border defense. As the strategic distance between Ottawa and Washington grows, these defense decisions may represent the start of a more multipolar approach to Canadian military planning. one that still values interoperability with traditional allies but is no longer solely reliant on the United States. In connection with the ongoing review of the F-35 contract, Prime Minister Carney stated that Canada is open to considering other manufacturers for the remaining aircraft. He noted, "We have alternatives to the F-35, so we will explore those." The Ministers of Defense and Procurement will examine how the F-35 program could be adjusted, including more investment and production within Canada. Canada's search for an alternative to the F-35 fighter jet has brought several notable options into consideration. One of the most prominent is Sweden's Saab JAS-39 Gripen, known for its affordability and versatility. The Gripen has gained attention not only for its technical capabilities but also for the industrial benefits it could bring to Canada. Saab has proposed assembling the aircraft within Canadian borders, which could significantly support the national aerospace industry by creating approximately 6,000 skilled jobs annually over the next 40 years. In addition to employment, the proposal includes a full transfer of intellectual property, allowing Canadian firms to independently manage maintenance, upgrades, and future technological developments. The Gripen E variant, the latest in the series, features advanced avionics, an upgraded GEF 414G engine, and compatibility with a wide range of NATO standard weapons. Its simple maintenance needs and quick deployment capability make it particularly suitable for Canada's varied geography and operational requirements. Another European candidate is the Eurofighter Typhoon, a collaborative project by the United Kingdom, Germany, Italy, and Spain. The Typhoon is known for its high-performance avionics and is already used by several NATO allies. Selecting this aircraft could strengthen Canada's defense partnerships in Europe and improve joint operational capabilities. However, the Typhoon's history with Canada is complex. In 2019, Airbus Defence and Space withdrew the aircraft from Canada's procurement competition, citing challenges in meeting integration needs related to NORAD and other security systems. This history may influence how seriously the Typhoon is reconsidered in the current context. France's Dassault Rafale is also part of the discussion. This twin-engine multi-role fighter has a strong record in combat and has proven reliable and adaptable in various mission types, including air dominance, ground attacks, and surveillance. Like the Gripen, the Rafale offers strong electronic warfare systems and a relatively low radar signature. However, the Rafale was previously withdrawn from Canada's fighter replacement competition in 2018. Reports suggested this was due to concerns about interoperability with Allied systems and access to sensitive data, key issues for a country closely integrated into intelligence-sharing networks like Five Eyes and NORAD. From across the Atlantic, the Boeing F divided by a -18E divided by F Super Hornet is another contender. As a direct successor to Canada's CF-18 fleet, the Super Hornet offers the smoothest transition in terms of pilot training, maintenance practices, and infrastructure compatibility. Despite these strengths, Boeing's aircraft was excluded from Canada's Future Fighter Capability Project in 2021, reportedly due to not meeting certain governmental and operational criteria. Even so, its familiarity and existing logistics framework might still make it a viable backup in the event of political or budget-related impasses. A new development has emerged in the United Kingdom, a longtime ally of both the United States and Canada. The UK has invited Canada to join a new defense partnership that extends beyond NATO's traditional framework. This proposed collaboration centers on the Global Combat Air Programme, GCAP, a trilateral effort between the UK, Japan, and Italy to develop a sixth-generation fighter jet. The program integrates advanced technologies such as artificial intelligence, directed energy weapons, and manned-unmanned teaming capabilities. Aging fleets like the Eurofighter Typhoon and Mitsubishi F2 are expected to be replaced by 2035, with demonstrator aircraft projected to fly by 2027. This move could also strengthen Canada's ties within the Five Eyes Intelligence Alliance, where it has strong security connections with the United Kingdom. Analysts have pointed out that Canada's inclusion in GCAP would be a natural extension of its current partnerships, providing mutual benefits in defense innovation and industrial cooperation. Additionally, Canada's participation in GCAP could support its domestic defense industry through technology transfer and job creation, similar to the advantages already observed in partner countries such as the United Kingdom and Italy. Canada's shift toward GCAP would not only redefine its bilateral relationship with the United Kingdom but also alter NATO's defense structure. The alliance has traditionally depended on United States-supplied systems like the F-35 to maintain interoperability among member states. A Canadian decision to join GCAP might encourage other NATO members to diversify their procurement approaches, potentially reducing U.S. dominance within the alliance. For instance, Portugal has recently reconsidered its plans to acquire Lockheed Martin F-35 fighter jets, citing concerns over the reliability of the United States as a defense partner. Defense Minister Nuno Melo stressed the importance of reliable alliances, stating, "We cannot ignore the geopolitical environment in our choices." The recent position of the United States in the context of NATO and in the International Geostrategic Plan must make us think about the best options, because the predictability of our allies is a greater asset to take into account. Melo also raised concerns about potential limitations tied to U.S.-made aircraft, including issues related to use, maintenance, and components, as well as ensuring the aircraft remain operational and usable in various scenarios. Moreover, Canada's shift could reflect a broader trend among NATO allies seeking greater independence from U.S. influence amid geopolitical uncertainty. This development could accelerate efforts to strengthen transatlantic security through diversified partnerships and collaborative initiatives like GCAP. GCAP offers Canada the opportunity to gain access to next-generation technologies focused on survivability and adaptability. The program's modular design supports ongoing upgrades, keeping systems effective against emerging threats. Features such as AI-assisted operations and advanced electronic warfare systems would greatly improve Canada's air combat capabilities economically. Joining GCAP could boost Canada's defense industry by creating jobs and encouraging innovation through collaboration with major companies such as BAE Systems and Leonardo. One question remains: how dependent is Canada on U.S. defense and military support? Canada's defense framework has long been closely tied to that of the United States, with deep-rooted cooperation in military operations, equipment procurement, and strategic planning. This collaboration is exemplified by joint efforts such as the North American Aerospace Defense Command, NORAD, established in 1958 to provide integrated aerospace warning and defense for both countries. A key aspect of Canada's reliance on the U.S. is seen in its defense procurement practices. Historically, Canada has acquired a large portion of its military equipment from American manufacturers. This relationship was formalized with the Defense Production Sharing Agreement, DPSA, in 1956, aimed at balancing cross-border military purchases and promoting defense industrial cooperation. Through this agreement, Canadian companies have become part of the U.S. defense supply chain, enabling a smooth exchange of technology and resources between the two countries. The Canadian Commercial Corporation, CCC, a Crown corporation, plays a key role in facilitating these transactions, acting as the main contractor for U.S. defense purchases from Canada. Since the DPSA began, the CCC has helped Canadian firms secure contracts worth over $30 billion. In the 2021 to 2022 fiscal year alone, the CCC managed contracts totaling $868 million with the U.S. Department of Defense, involving 151 Canadian companies. According to recent assessments, about 80% of Canada's defense budget goes toward American weapons and equipment. This heavy reliance has led to discussions about the need for diversification, especially given shifting geopolitical conditions and trade tensions. Public opinion in Canada shows a growing interest in reducing dependence on U.S. military equipment. A recent survey found that 64% of Canadians support an immediate halt to